Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everyone. How are you? What do you mean waiting? I don't know what's going on, why YouTube says it's waiting. But hey, listen up. Uh, okay, so these past 7 days, I have lost 3 people to the coronavirus. 3 friends in 7 days. 2 of them just the day before yesterday on the same day. Online, I have with me Lynette. And Lynette is going to tell you her experience. And it's really, really something. And I didn't play no music. I didn't go through all of that because you need to hear this. Welcome, Lynette. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well or trying to do well.
Okay. You called me in January, and you just was like so profound in telling me how sick you had been. And by the time you were able to call me, which was January, you were just on the tail end of this illness. And you kept saying, I don't know what this was. This wasn't normal. So I'm going to shut up and let you do the talking and start from the beginning.
Well, it was the week of November, 2 days before, actually 3 days before Thanksgiving of 2019. I started feeling a little ill. Shivers, cold, slight body aches. Wasn't paying much attention to it. Figured maybe I just like overworked, long hours or whatever. Even went to the gym, like body and worked out that night. When I got back from the gym, I started feeling even more colder. Sat on the couch with my dog, shaking. Almost fell asleep, but then I said I need to take a shower. Went and took a shower, went to sleep, and woke up with a fever of 102.1. Freaking out.
Let me stop you there. Do you often get fevers when you get sick? When was the last time you had a fever?
Probably 2003.
2003. Okay, go ahead.
So I was like, okay, I need to find something to kind of take to make the fever go away because I know that's going to equate to the body aches, the pains, and all that. That night it got worse. My fever went up to 102.8. I contacted my manager at a hotel that I work at and told her what was going on.
And what state are you in?
I'm in the state of Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay, go ahead.
She basically just told me to, oh no, get better because we have a busy week. So I tried to explain to her a little bit more in detail. Well, I understand the busy week, but I am ill and something's not right with how I feel. I'm not going to be able to make it into it. So, and before I called her that morning, that night when my fever went up, I also had diarrhea. I went to the bathroom on myself and I didn't know. My body was so hot. I was so out of it. I didn't even realize. So that's another thing with that. My temperature started to go down a little bit, not completely. And then I wind up going to the doctor because I wasn't able to have anybody take me. So I wound up going to the doctor. They took my fever there at that point. It was like 99.9. They tested me for the flu. They said I tested positive for flu. They gave me Tamiflu. Went home in a Z-Pack. I had to stop taking the Tamiflu because I had a bad allergic reaction to the Tamiflu. So I contacted the doctors right away. They said stop taking it immediately. Evidently, you're allergic to it. Hives, vomiting, nausea, itching really bad. I was hallucinating, and it wasn't because the fever went up high. So I was so weak. I lost about 11 pounds in like a week and a half.
Wow.
I knew that I had to get myself back together as soon as possible because I had to get back to work. We have certain events that happen during the holiday season where a lot of staff is needed and it's a lot of turnover, and we have to be there. So I would make myself go into work with bottles of medicine in my purse that you can actually see, to try to make myself get through work, which probably wasn't really, conducive to my well-being, but, you have to survive, right, people?
Mm-hmm.
So I went. It probably was the reason why it took me to about second week of January to feel somewhat normal, because I had to make myself keep working. And I even went to like a different doctor. That doctor found a small pneumonia in my lung. So contributed with that and the flu. There was another reason why it took so much longer. Anyway, fast forward a little bit to March. The week of March 10th, let's say, which is was a Tuesday, from March 8th to March 10th. I was feeling a little bit under the weather, but didn't pay too much attention to it again, because it was a creeper. And I was like, I'm not going to have the flu again, because I was just sick like a few months ago with the flu. I don't get sick like that. I work out, I do my smoothies, I do my natural herbs, I do moringa powder and maca root and all this good stuff and yoga. I generally really take care of myself, even if I do work long hours. So I don't really think that my body is susceptible to falling to viruses and getting sick like that. But the week before that, week and a half before that, my boyfriend was sick. And it was like 78 degrees that night. I come home, he's in the bed with sweatpants on, sweatshirt, two comforters, a blanket, two top sheets, and the heat on, shivering. I take his fever is almost at a 102.
Mm.
So next morning it breaks, but it was like off and on for like a couple of days, and then I just went back and it was normal. So he was fine. Then got to that week of March 8th and March 10th, I started feeling like a little weird. I was at work, and I remember being in one of the meeting rooms, and I had sneezed, and I got kicked out the room by some of the guests. They let my manager know about kicking me out of the room, because that's when this whole coronavirus thing, people started getting worried about it, but people were still out working and doing what they had to do. So they kicked me out of the room and gave me orders to wash my hands, sanitize my hands, and not go back in the room immediately. I thought it was rather odd, because they flew in from all different places from all over the world. But I was like, okay, whatever. I blew it off. I was like, oh, whatever. It's not a big thing. It's just care, to be honest with you. So then, later on that week, I started not feeling good. My fever went up to 99.9, and my fever went up to 100.8, something like that. And I was supposed to go into work for a meeting, because they kept sending emails saying that they were canceling different events, different groups were canceling due to the COVID-19 epidemic, coronavirus epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, you know what? I'm not going to go into work for this meeting for the GM to discuss what's going on with it and what we're going to do, because I have a fever and something's not right. So my birthday was coming in. Actually, that was the day of my birthday. I'm sorry that I didn't go into that meeting. So later on that day, I started feeling miserable. Fever, 100.5. So I said, okay, you're just going to lay down, you're going to rest, drink some tea, drink some water, just rest. I did that because for some reason I felt so lethargic and so tired, like I had ran a marathon, but I didn't. Then I would just sleep. I slept that day. The next day I slept. I just wanted to sleep. My body was like, just sleep, sleep, sleep. And I would wake up shivering because my body was so cold and I was in pain because my fever would cheer up. So I was going to take my temperature again. It was 101. So I'm like, okay, I need to try to take some. I know that week before I was taking ibuprofen, so I decided to take that again. My chest, luckily, started getting impacted with my breathing. I would try to breathe in, and it would stop. Like my diaphragm would not go all the way down. I couldn't get enough air. It was like something that was just squeezing it and stopping it. And when I tried to force it, I would get sharp pains in my chest.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to take a BC powder because I started having like really bad headaches from this where I felt like they were going to turn into a migraine. And my nose, when I would breathe in through my nostril when it unclogged, it felt like the air was acidic. And it was going inside my nostril, up behind my eye, into my brain, literally burning. It was like boiling acidic air going through my nostril.
Okay, slow down. You said when you would breathe, the air seemed to be like it was acidic because it would go up just one nostril. And
so
like
whatever nostril was open, it would go up that one.
Wow. And it would burn.
It would burn. Excruciatingly, it would burn. I don't know exactly what that was. It just would happen, and it would not stop. So even with sleeping was miserable because breathing in the air, it was just torture. Like I was breathing in air of acid, and it was just burning. So I had to take a cotton ball, stick it up there to try to clog that and breathe out my mouth as best I can.
The fuck?
Yeah. In the middle of the night, I would wake up 1, 2 in the morning because I was literally trying to crawl out of my body. Like I felt like there was a creature or demon or something that was inside, and I was trying to crawl out from, escape, and I could not get out of myself. It sounds really weird with trying to describe it, but that's the best description that I could possibly give from what I dealt with that. It was miserable. I don't wish it on anyone. It was like back to back of this, and completely lethargic, lack of appetite, cold. You don't want to move. You barely want to get up to use the restroom, but you know you have to because you don't want to defecate or urinate yourself in the bed. Yeah, it was torture. It was torture, and the only thing I can really equate this thing to is the coronavirus, not a severe flu. Even though I did call the 211 number and they told me, oh, we'll quite possibly have the flu again because there's different strains going around. I don't get sick like that. Like I said, I do not get sick like that. And I knew that it wasn't the flu and it was something different. It was like something living trying to take over in you. The flu does not do that. Even though it's miserable in and of itself, it does not do that.
So when you got sick around Thanksgiving, you were having like lung issues then too, correct?
Yes, I was. That's when they found the slight pneumonia in my lung.
And what did that feel like?
It felt like there was rocks in there, and you can hear it. Like I would lay in the bed with the dog, and it was like a little creature in there just like scratching, and they would look at me and move their ears like, what is that noise? And it was me breathing, trying to move all that mucus and phlegm around in the lungs to get air. This is completely different because you don't hear that. It stops. It gives you a little bit of air and that's it. Stop. You can't get any more air. And when you force it, that's when you get those sharp pains.
Ooh.
Now I'm saying this, meaning the coronavirus, even though that I have not been diagnosed positive with it, I'm pretty sure that I do have it because I live with my boyfriend. He's an officer of the law. He got mandated by them to go get tested. He got tested, and it came back positive. Off and on, he's been having symptoms, feeling sick, like I told you earlier about him. And he was feeling sick again shortly after I started this. So it kind of is an eye-opener to me and made me go get tested today.
And what was that like? What did they do?
They take this long swab that I would say it's almost the length of a ruler.
Yeah, I seen them.
And they take it and they stick it up your nostril, not all the way, but long enough where it feels like it's going behind your eye into your brain. You feel something touching in a space that is not supposed to ever be touched.
Ooh.
And it is miserably excruciating. It's worse than when you go swimming in the ocean or the pool and you get water up there. It's worse because it's like a tentacle that's going into a space that you're not supposed to go into.
Wow. And this just took place like less than 2 hours ago, because I've been on the phone with you on and off pretty much all day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God. And at your job, are they taking precautions to protect employees and, clients?
From what I understand, they're not really taking precautions. They don't have enough gear to protect. There are some gloves around and maybe hand sanitizer, but there's no mask. But there's employees that refuse to use the gloves because they think that this is a joke. Verbatim, this is what has been said. And
they think what is a joke? That the coronavirus.
The coronavirus, the COVID-19, that it's just a joke. It's a myth. It's made up. So my thing is, once it happens to maybe not you per se, but someone 2 degrees separation, 3, 4, once it hits home with you a little bit more, you're going to see how much of a joke it is not. Because just to go through the symptoms that I've been going through, and this week I've still been feeling things off and on here and there, and like I said, I just went to go get tested and I have a fever. Didn't realize that. Once they start to realize that, they're going to see that it's not a joke. It is not a joke. 5 days straight, I battled the whole thing with the nose. I had clindamycin left over from a dermatologist. I took that just to try to help because I thought it was the rhinitis. I think they call it the nose, to try to help that. It took forever for that to subside. Oh, and by the way, I lost complete sense of taste and smell. I only have it back a little bit, partially. So when your sense of taste and smell is completely wiped out, your equilibrium is thrown off.
Really?
Completely thrown off. Yes. Because you can't smell anything and taste. And all that's kind of connected.
So you kind of like wobbling around when you walk?
Yes, actually, you do. You do. At least for me. It might be different for other people, but at least for me. You have bouts of diarrhea. You have a weird fever. Like, the fever never stays really steady. And then it could go down where you think you don't have a fever, and then guess what? It comes right back. And it comes back with a vengeance and knocks you on your ass. I've dealt with this with my boyfriend. We're trying to nurse him. That's how I know that I'm going to test positive for it, because it was right there before we even knew that he might have had it. And then me being off and on sick, and then the fever off and on. I have a friend with a 9-year-old son. His fever would spike, you give him something, and it goes away, and then it comes back. This coronavirus, which I believe it's the coronavirus, it's some type of parasitic demon. Some of you may not believe in that, but demons do exist. They walk amongst us in so many different forms. This is a parasitic demon, for sure. It's some type of something other, and it preys, and it goes around to different people, and it hits them. And whatever allotment out of those people decides to hit hard, that's who it hits hard and gets them so twisted, and they end up in the hospital on ventilators or severe pneumonia, because it knows that you have underlying, conditions. But also, there's been stories of people that didn't have underlying conditions and have felt very, very ill from this and have died. So people need to really research that and figure that out to also realize why it's no joke. So it's something just to really think about.
Yeah, because, I hadn't talked to you since, well, I did talk to you between January and, now, here and there. But the other day when I called you early in the morning, like all week I had been so busy, and you had just been on my mind. And, and then every time I would read something about this virus, you would pop up in my mind. And I finally was able to sit still for a moment. And I said, wait a minute. She called me in January, like kind of like a subdued, frantic state, kind of telling me how sick she was. And so that's why I called you, and I was like, you told me you were sick back in November, really, really bad with pneumonia. And I was like, do you think that was the COVID-19? You was like, I absolutely know it was. And so now it's coming back. Here it is in March. So you've been dealing with it for about a good 2 weeks again. Wow. Now, I've heard people who've had it and they recovered, but I haven't read up on anybody whether they can get it again. And, you know, if they do, is it mild? Is it more severe? I don't have any information pertaining to that.
Well, just like they say you can get the flu again, but you build up antibodies. Apparently, there's different strains, apparently, of the coronavirus. So why would you not be able to get it again?
Right.
So, I haven't really read any actual data on that. I know that they're still doing studies and stuff like that, but I wouldn't totally rule that out. Like, oh, you got it, that's it, you can't ever get it again. No, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Well, at this point,
I believe that my boyfriend had it twice because, like I told you, end of February around Mardi Gras time, and then beginning of March, he was sick, fever. Something was not right. Then he felt better, and then I was sick that week of second week of March, and then he felt sick again, and that's when they mandated him to go get tested because it's the officer of the law, and it came back positive that he has coronavirus, the COVID-19. So you tell me that you can't get it again.
What medication are they giving him?
He hasn't taken any medication as of yet. He's not really believing in doing that. He's just waiting to see where they trace it to and watch his symptoms. And if his fever starts spiking again, then he's going to basically take it from there. So,
and the worst thing
ibuprofen.
Right, that's what I was going to get to. The worst thing you can do when you get symptoms of anything is take ibuprofen. It's something about this virus and ibuprofen. It just agitates it.
Yes. It does something with it and impacting your breathing. I know firsthand because I had taken the ibuprofen, and I know when I relieved up on it, my breathing was getting better. So I think it's a very bad contributing factor to that. And I'm not saying that's necessarily why people are dying, but I think if I was still taking that, I probably would have been in the hospital on a breathing machine.
Gotcha.
And he would have too. I had to tell him to stop taking it. And he said, well, that's when my chest and everything was feeling really uncomfortable, like weird, not right when he was taking ibuprofen. He said that verbatim.
Wow.
So I think it does kind of correlate in there. Don't take, you take, this is what's happening. So stay away from it. Whatever you do, people, do not take ibuprofen, no Aleve, no Advil, just Tylenol. If you feel like you have pains or you want to reduce the fever, Tylenol. Do not take anything else for the love of God, because you're going to think that you're okay. And even if you think your fever is going down because of that, because it will reduce your fever, you might die in your sleep because you're not able to breathe right.
Okay, got you. So y'all hear that? You could take Tylenol, but don't take ibuprofen. What did you say? Advil? And what was the other one? Not to take?
Aleve.
Aleve.
Do not take Aleve. Don't take anything but Tylenol.
Yeah.
Do not take anything but Tylenol to reduce that fever.
Okay, Tylenol. That's it. No ibuprofen.
Yes. And
Oh,
Tylenol to help with the aches and pains.
and Tylenol to help with the aches and pains. Gotcha. Oh Lord. Okay, so I just want to thank you for coming on and talking about this and sharing your story. I think more people need to hear this. As I travel around these YouTube streets, I'm hearing all these conspiracies. It's man-made and this and that and the other. You know what? It could very well be. But what's more important and pressing right now is how to take care of yourself, how to prevent it. And if you're infected, what to do and what not to do so you can still walk this evil earth.
Yep. And keep your hands clean. Thorough hand washing. If you come in and you are around people, take your clothes off right away, put them in the laundry basket or the machine, and take a shower. Do not climb in your bed with outside clothing on. That's one of the worst things you can do because it does live on the clothing. I'm not sure about how long it does. It does live on the clothing. It does live on various surfaces. I think the max of some surfaces is about 9 days. So I can't differentiate between all that right now, but it's a fact. You need to do that. Do not shake anyone's hand. If you're walking and people you're walking towards you, make sure the 6 foot rule, people. And if they don't understand that, sometimes you might just have to get a little bit ignorant and let them know. Like, you need to move in respect. Because right now, these uncertain times that we're living in, it's really no joke. It is no joke.
And one thing that people must do that it probably slips our minds or just we don't even think about, sanitize your steering wheel.
Yes. I keep antibacterial wipes in my car, and I wipe that down in the handle of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't think you touch the gas pump and you open the door back up, you're transferring all that. The domino effect of germs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going from this surface to this surface to this surface to this surface. And then you might not pay attention and wipe your eye when you're driving. Or pick your nose. So some people do that too.
Yeah. Pick your nose while you're driving.
You know, people do the weirdest things. So you never know. And you cannot be too clean. You cannot be too sure of being protective of yourself and your loved ones. Even with your animals, before you pet your animals, wash your hands. After you pet your animals, wash your hands. Not saying that they can have that. They said that there is an animal that carries, I think, the CoV-2 or something because it's some derivative of the coronavirus, and then you have the COVID-19. They just haven't figured out which one that is.
Mm-hmm.
But just to take whatever precautions you can. And if you think you're feeling a little bit off, don't equate it to, oh, I just worked a 14-hour shift. Oh, I just worked out. Don't equate it to that. Oh, I didn't eat. If you feel like that, eat something. See how you feel. Drink some water. But do not just leave it under the rug. If you keep having symptoms that you know are not of the norm, I highly recommend that you go and get tested at.
Wow.
So it's no joke, people. It's no joke. And the symptoms that I went through straight like that, and it's still stuff I'm going through, I can only imagine how people feel that are in the hospital and have been there for 2 weeks. I would honestly pull the plug off of myself because I would not be able to function like that. If I'm trying to crawl out of my skin 5 days in dealing with this, and in the hospital, that's 2 weeks, 14 days, I would pull the plug on myself because it's miserable. It's like this demonic creature. It's just inside of you, hitting you from each angle, doing all the sinister stuff, and then it feels like it's trying to chop your body up inch by inch by inch, slowly with the pain. It's not an onset of full body pain like the flu. It's just creeper pain, like inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. It's like driving you crazy. It really is. It's like a little mental anguish on top of it. Now, this is my story. This is from personal experience from me of what I dealt with. Everybody's different, I'm sure. But these are symptoms that I had. Some of them I'm still having concerning to this day. Like I said, I just went to go get tested today, and they said I have a fever. Yeah, you can't be too sure, people. You cannot be too sure. You gotta stay clean. Even if you go to the grocery stores and stuff, and you don't wear a mask, wear gloves or keep antibacterial wipes and hand sanitizer with you, because people will go in there and touch stuff and pick this up and not pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is living on this surface. Even if it's for 2 hours, and then you come in there an hour and 20 minutes after they touched it, and it's still living on the surface, and you touch it. Guess what? What's going to happen, people? Damn. So,
yeah.
gotta be careful. Don't joke.
All right.
Don't joke.
Well, Lynette, I thank you, and I'm sure my listeners thank you very, very, very much. You are greatly appreciated in more ways than one. And by the way, Lynette is my sister. And I mean, blood sister.
Yeah.
And wow. Again, thank you so much. I'm going to end this broadcast right now. And I'm going to get back and check on you later on this evening, because I have to go and get some more rest, because I have been doing a lot of work, volunteering, and just doing what I can and trying to keep myself protected as well.
Exactly.
All righty. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope this helps somebody. Y'all just be safe and know that Madam Whip Ass cares. Peace. I'm out.
Bye, everybody.
Well, thank you so much for that.